to actually prevent the SCV from doing anything like throwing down an engineering bay to block the expansion. But, well, there's the reactor now for Ike, and he's going to get his command center. So a pretty macro-based opener, but with that gas, he can get a fast factory, go for something like a fast Widow Mine follow-up. We've seen players such as Thorzane in the European metagame going for fast Hellbat drop follow-ups, and we actually have a pretty quick second gas here for Ike. So we could see a bit more of a tech-based build than the standard mine, medevac, marine timing, but MC going to press forward with a Zealot and a Stalker. There's only a handful of Marines out right now. 2 more about to come out for Ike. MC just going to do a little bit of a poke here.
Yeah, MC just wants to delay the command center from floating down to the low ground as much as possible, wants to get an idea of what's happening. Oh, he's taking a bit of shield, a lot of damage on this Zealot actually. Wow, he goes ahead. What's happening? Why is that Zealot still alive? Okay.
I think he misclicked. It looked like
I think he clicked his own depot there, didn't he?
Yeah, it's actually burning down. He's going to need to bring an SCV to repair that. His factory is done, though. We do have a Widow Mine on the way. He's got a bit of gas, so we could see him throw down an army or a starport very quickly. Another Stalker coming up for MC. Going to blow away these Marines. That supply depot getting dangerously low as well. Ike is going to need to do his best to keep these guys off of him. He doesn't want to get lose that supply depot this early in the game. He's going to need to get an SCV over there. In the meantime, MC is throwing down this Nexus. He has his second gas, and Warp Gate's about to finish, and MF's going to add on 2 more gateways. Looks like he's going to retreat for now, but with that probe there, he could get a little bit aggressive later on. What do you think, Larian?
I think that MC is in a fantastic position right now. He did everything that he hoped to do with that little poke. Killed a few units. He got a supply depot that I could have repaired. He's having a good idea of when his opponent is expanding. He knows what tech he has. He knows there's a reactor on that barracks. He knows the starport is probably not on the way yet because he's done some damage and delayed things quite a bit. So MC's going to be feeling really happy about himself, and he's not taking any risk whatsoever. No Stargate opener by him because he took his second gas really late, so that was really indicative of a robo and 2 additional gateways coming down out of MC. He's got units in his main base ready to defend against any kind of drop that I could throw at him. Ike does have his starport on the way, so he is gonna be going into some drop play. What is he gonna be dropping though? Is it gonna be those Hellbats that he's producing out of the factory now?
It certainly looks so. 2 Hellbats are on the way. But MMC kind of covering all of his bases, opening up, chrono boosting out those observers. He has the Mothership Core banking energy now, and he's going to be able to defend against any really fast mine play. He knows that since there is a reactor, there was a gas opening, he doesn't need to get the probe inside the main to tell that. But he's actually building some tech labs with his barracks, so he's possibly getting ready for a follow-up, maybe moving into tanks or just getting his Stimpack upgrade. And he's going to throw a scan down in the main, sees the robo and the 3 gateways, so he knows, okay, I don't have to worry about anything like a very super fast DT play. Definitely not going to be Stargate. And, well, with the first medevac about to come onto the field, Ike is looking to go for a pretty quick Hellbat drop. But what do you think about this Twilight Council we have coming down here for MC, Illyrian?
Oh, that's pretty interesting. He doesn't even have a forge yet, so this is definitely not for upgrades. He's going to go straight into a High Templar play, most likely. Not even going to try to go for a single Colossi and fake his opponent out. He is going to catch this drop though, Nathanias. That's really important. He sees the medevac boost out there with his observer, so MC knows exactly what's on the way. His second observer might be... No, the second observer is not going to catch the medevac again, but I'm sure MC saw what happened there, and his observer is seeing everything. His hallucinated Phoenix has been able to see everything that his observer hasn't, so MC should be in position to defend this, and he is. He's got an observer there, he's got 5 stalkers, and he should be absolutely fine here.
Yeah, especially with that blink that he's getting there, and the Stalker should be able to shut this down as long as he doesn't take too much. I think what's a little bit more interesting, but we'll get into that just in a second. This drop is moving in. More Stalkers being warped in. He's going to drop into that main mineral line the Hellbat's going to take out. Actually doesn't manage to get any probes. He grazes a couple of them, bringing down to that orange health, but the Photon Overcharge is activated at the natural, and he's going to try to snipe off this medevac. The Hellbat's not really being able to do any damage, and he doesn't get any probe kills there. But what I wanted to just quickly gesture at, look at the main base for Ike. We have a double factory play now. He's pumping out a Raven and siege tanks and more Hellbats. So it does look like Ike's going to go mech versus MC.
Yeah, a bit of a weird mech composition, I'd say too. I mean, that Raven in there that's pretty cool to see. The Raven is going to be useful to drop like the point defense drone that's going to soak up a lot of the Stalker shots, and Stalkers, there's going to be a lot of them on the field. I mean, MC is on how many gateways is he? Is he still on only 3 gates? Wow, he's going to take a pretty big risk here and expand to a 3rd base already off of only 3 gateways, but there are additional gateways coming down. Another 3 are on the way. His Stalkers are aggressively poking in here. Ike does have a siege tank set up defensively, but it's only 1 siege tank, and Stalkers can easily blink on top of a single one and take it out.
Yeah, especially important to mention the mobility of the Stalkers over the siege tanks. Actually, I recall in another WCS qualifier match for North America we had between between Noni and Mario. We saw a lot of good blink Stalker usage to catch tanks out of position, pick them off one by one, and then get away before the Hellbats can do damage. That could be what MC is planning to do with this large Stalker count, but he's already getting a fleet beacon and adding on gateways, so he looks like he wants to tech up super fast here. And well, it looks like Ike does want to take this pocket 3rd base. The command center is about to finish. He's busted down that rock tower, and MC's taking his 3rd base. It's about to complete. Where do you think he's going to go from here? Is he going to stick to these Stalkers or make a quick switch with this 2nd Stargate he's adding on?
I have no idea what MC's doing. I don't think this is the most legit opener I've ever seen him do, going into blink Stalkers on 2 base, grabbing a 3rd, and then going into a double Stargate play with a fleet beacon. It's definitely interesting to see how it's going to be working out. He takes out the rocks, does lose a Stalker there in the process to that siege tank, but that's alright. He's in quite the alright position, and there it is. We see Tempests, ridiculously early Tempest, 12 minutes in this game coming up out of MC.
And that's gonna put a little bit of a damper on Ike's plans if he gets caught off guard by these. He is actually producing Vikings. He does have a reactor on that starport, but I mean, if you can get up a good number of them with the Raven, actually, the point defense drone works quite well versus the Tempest. But with that 3rd base now just starting to kick in for Ike, he needs to get some SCVs over there. I mean, the mech push is all about making one push that works. So if he gets the right composition to be able to deal with this, the Stalkers, though, are going to blink over, and that Raven is going to get picked off. Such an important, expensive unit. But like I said, it's all about having the perfect composition for a final push, or really just drawing the game out to the late game scenario. But that's where MC is going to shine with these super long range units, and we have the first couple of Tempest coming out onto the field. He has the 3rd one about to finish, and he's getting his +1 air upgrades.
Yeah, these Tempests, MC is preparing for the late game already at 12 to 13 minutes into this game, so he's going to have a fantastic composition to deal with Ike when he's maxed out. And like you said, it's going to be about one big engagement. Ike is going to move out with everything he has when he's maxed out, and he's going to try to kill MC and hope he wasn't ready for that just yet. As he's trying to drop again, has MC caught any wind of this drop? I don't think he has, but his observer is in a pretty good position, so he will get a bit of an early notification that another medevac is going to be boosting in here. Oh, he's actually getting he's very easily seeing this, so there should be units getting in position to defend against this, but there's not actually. MC might be losing a few of his probes here, but the Tempest shooting from very far away, they're dealing with that drop relatively well.
Yeah, and you know, more importantly, though, the Hellbats didn't really kill too much there. He has another job with Hellbats going on the left side of the map, but a Warp Prism now getting into the main base of Ike. He's going to warp in 5 of the Zealots, a 6th one as well, so Ike's going to have a lot of trouble, and this mech army is so slow, it's going to be hard to deal with that. The Photon Cannon's going to basically shut this drop down. He will not be able to get in there, and the armory being targeted down, he's not going to be able to produce any more Hellbats or tanks. His 2nd armory might also be delayed, and at the same time, the Stalkers are going to try to abuse this and run in, but the tanks are in position. The Observer does see the mine. MC's actually going to lose a lot of Stalkers here, but now blinking in onto that 3rd base wall, the Zealots have finally been cleaned up. Viking will be able to take out that Warp Prism, but the 3rd base for Ike is going to have to be lifted, and this is definitely not a good position to be in.
No, it's not. He's going to lose a lot of mining time there, while MC has already got his 4th base finished up, and he's continuing to produce those Tempests. These Stalkers are pretty expendable right now. He is, of course, going to try to blink out of there, and he does so successfully. Loses only 1 Stalker in the retreat. That was good positioning there by MC, managing to get as many units out there as possible. And his Tempest count is out of control. Already 8 of them on the field. He also has 17 Zealots out on the field who are going to be buffering the damage on the ground, making sure that the Marines and Marauders cannot just run up to those Tempests and kill them off.
Yeah, you know, a lot of the supply is in the Hellbats, which will be good versus the Zealots. But I gotta say, with this many Tempest on the field, those Stalkers, before they left, they did a damn good job of focusing down those Vikings. And, well, I mean, if you look at the unit counting station, like you said, there's so many Tempests, 10 of them, and only 8 Vikings, no Raven for point defense drone, and now he's going to go in and try to engage this force, but is there even enough anti-air? The Vikings are coming forward. They do that extra damage versus the armored Tempest, but with so many of them on the field, I'm so worried. The Thors are set into that high-impact payload mode, are going to try to take these down, but is Ike going to have enough? I'm just not sure. Templar Archives coming behind this, and consistent Tempest production. All of the Vikings are going to get shut down here for Ike.
Yeah, and those Thors are the only anti-air left remaining, and a few Marines are in there, but they are not going to be enough. Here comes the rest of the army of MC. He's actually buying more time. Ike knows that he has no anti-air left, and he's going to be forced to GG out of this first map here on Acheron Waste. And the MC taking the first game with a really unconventional strategy. This is not something that I've seen MC do in any of his more serious matches in like the GSL. He might be joking around a little bit, because there's a lot of vulnerabilities that MC had in the mid-game. If Ike would have attacked with his army before MC would have had any Tempest out on the field and he only had Blinkstalkers to defend, he might have been in a lot of trouble trying to defend with just 10 to 20 Blinkstalkers against a mech army. But it worked out for him. He bought himself enough time and was able to get up to that critical amount of Tempest, which was like, I don't know, like 12 in the end? Something like that?
Something like that, but that's exactly right. You know, he had an opportunity to go for an attack, but that's kind of, you know, one of the ways to abuse mech players. He had just enough at home to defend the drops, just enough outside the main base to see any kind of attack coming. We are going to get into the lobby for game number 2, guys, which is going to be played on Daybreak. So we'll get to you guys that as soon as possible. But like you said, you know, this is not a build you're gonna try on the ladder back at home, guys. MC is a professional.
Don't try this at home, kids.
But we'll have to see if he's got anything else in store for game number 2. Ike, he's gonna need to pull something a little bit craftier than a Hellbad drop out of his pocket if he wants to take down the boss toss. We are waiting for MC to actually get into this lobby, and we'll get you guys this game as soon as we can. What do you think in terms of, from a Protoss perspective, what is the most out there build that I could possibly throw at MC?
The most out there build as in cheesy build to win a quick game?
Of course.
Well, the best hope that I would have for Ike would be to execute something that he can do almost in perfection. Like something that isn't too complicated, but has a decent win ratio versus Protoss players. And that usually involves pushes off one base, proxies. I have been getting 888 proxied quite a bit on the ladder. I mean, it's not that common versus Protoss players, but it is something you can do. And if MC plays a greedy build and expands really quickly, those Reapers can really wreck your day and give you the advantage that you need to win in the later stages of the game. So I think his best option would be to do something really crazy. 2 racks? Possibly. What do you think his best bet is versus MC?
I mean, I like your point when you're going over something that's very easy to execute. You know, going for some kind of elaborate 2-base, you know, 6 Thor all-in or something at like 12 minutes might be a little bit out of the ordinary and a bit too much, I think, for this level. But the countdown is starting, and like you said, I think a 1-base play might be his best shot. We'll have to see what Ike's got in store for game number 2.
Yes, so let's get this party started, loading into the map. Here we have the beautiful layout of Daybreak, where of course the day is breaking. You can see it there in the back. The sun is almost coming through. These intros are really quite crafty. I believe that's the first time we're using that. That's pretty cool. Did you catch that, Nathan?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. Esports production, man, so good. And, well, let's introduce these players spawning in the bottom left position as our purple Terran from Microwave Supremacy. We have Ike. And in the top right position as our red Protoss player from SK Gaming, you guys know him as the Boss Toss, it is MC.
Yeah, this guy's got so many nicknames. The Obama Toss, Boss Toss. Many people know him just as Minchul, which is what MC stands for. This guy's been around for a very, very long time. He's got a huge fan base. and is now playing for SK Gaming. He is in Germany, I believe. Is that where their team house is? Might very well be the case. So he's playing with very low latency, which is something that is important to note. People often remark like, oh yeah, the Koreans having such a hard time playing in EU events because the latency is so bad, and they're having a bad time trying to execute their micro the way they're used to doing it. But that's not the case here with MC. He's going to be able to play his A game.
Yeah, and that's a very scary situation to have to be in for a player such as Ike. And he's not opening up with the gas just yet, but it does look like he will be taking it. So we could see another factory opener out of our Terran player, which is not a bad idea by any means. Going for the aggression is definitely going to be his best way to catch an early lead and try to sneak a game and possibly this series off of MC. But Bastos getting his gas up now, and he's going to be going for a fast second assimilator. You think this is going to be another classic possible proxy Stargate play from MC that we've seen so classically from him?
Could very well be. It's a ridiculously early gas, even before the cybernetic score gets started, but there's so many different ways of doing it. I know a lot of Protoss players who love taking both gases before their cybernetic score, put 2 workers in there, which is not what MC is doing. He's putting 3 in one gas and 2 in the other, which is important to note. If he would have had 2-2, it could have been just a normal strategy, but having this 3-2 distribution of workers, he's definitely going to do something with all that gas. And is he going to put a pylon? Where is he going to put that pylon? He has the second pylon in his main base already, though.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we've seen a lot of players actually use the third pylon for proxies. Slightly later, he is moving that probe down towards the south spot on this map.
Yeah, definitely going to be a pylon there.
Ooh, factory coming in for Ike. He's hiding it on the left side of his main base, and you know he did have that supply depot block up, so MC doesn't know what's in his base, but that pylon is going, as you said, in the bottom area. And MC right now, he's going to actually finish saturating that gas, going for the full 3-3, so he's going to have a lot of income, and well, this could be a bit difficult to hold. Ike will have a bunker at the front, but he doesn't have a command center up yet, so this could be one of those fake out bunkers trying to make your opponent think that you're going for an expansion. But MC, well, that Stargate, it's on the way.
Yeah, the Stargate is being constructed on that third pylon. As you said, the SCV for Ike is going to make a suicide run in the main base of MC. He has right-clicked on the mineral, so he's going to get into the main base and see that Stalker's being chrono boosted. Probes are being chrono boosted. There's 2 gas taken. Both have 3 workers in it. And would Ike be able to recognize, wait, there's no third pylon, something might be up? I think this pylon that MC just thrown down was just to reassure Ike and be like, okay, that's my third pylon. It's nothing to worry about. I'm not proxying you. It's all good.
Exactly. Just hush. It's okay. It's okay. But at the same time, MC actually ran a probe over towards that bunker. He was able to see there was no command center behind the bunker. So he may be like, okay, well, it doesn't look like you're going to expand, so maybe I won't be too greedy. But we do have Hellion production going, as well as a starport. First Oracle will be on the field very shortly, though, and there's 4 Marines to defend, and Oracle can beat 5 Marines straight up. Ike could be caught off guard here, and he could take a lot of damage from this, especially with the Mothership Core, Stalker, and Zealot coming in tow for some additional pressure.
Yeah, they're going to be pressuring the front and the back at the same time. The bunker in the front only has 1 Marine, 5 Marines now in the main base, but like you said, that might not quite be enough, especially with that Mothership Core there. It is definitely not going to be enough, and the Oracle takes the Marines down. The Hellions are coming in, and they're like, hey, we cannot shoot up. This is not a good plan, and I think MC might just be able to win this game outright here. The Mothership Core still has a lot of shield, still has a lot of HP. The Zealot and the Stalker are waiting at the front. The Marine that was in the bunker has unloaded, and that Marine was actually really important, able to snipe the first Oracle, but the second Oracle coming in the back nade, and that Oracle will probably be able to seal the deal.
Yeah, getting a lot of kills. Mothership Core adding in extra damage. Ike trying to go for the triple Hellion drop with that medevac that he got out, but he's not going to have anything at all behind this. MC still on 1 base, but he's added on 2 gateways. He's got a Stalker in the main, and all he's got to do is warp in a couple units to be a little bit more defensive, trying to long-distance mine with the SCVs to force that Oracle to waste its energy chasing, but that Mothership Core has got 6-7 kills on it now, just doing so much damage. A Viking finally out for Ike, but is it too late? 16 supply to 42. That Hellion drop is coming in. He's going to boost in, but the Stalkers are everywhere to deny this, and Ike, oh, he's in such a rough spot, and he's just going to GMC taking a quick second game here in this best of 3, and well, he's going to advance on to the next round in our WCS EU Challenger League qualifier. This is the first one, so MC getting a little bit closer to that top 4 spot to advance to the Challenger League. Any closing thoughts on that game, Lilian?
Yeah, what is there to say about that? MC just executing a strategy perfectly. He was being aggressive. He had his units at the right place. The Zealot and the Stalker came in while the bunker was empty. The Oracle was able to kill a lot of units. There were not enough Marines out. You pointed it out, Nathan. We saw it coming from a little pretty far off, actually. I'd be able to say that MC was going to win that game. So 2-0 for the SK player. He has got a next opponent waiting for him in the brackets. It's a French player named Benson. We could be jumping into that. I'm not sure what race Benson is, but I'm sure a lot of people on the stream would love to follow MC around a little bit. So what are your thoughts? Shall we jump into the next MC game or look for something different?
Well, we got a lot of talented players in here. I'd personally love to catch a game or two from Tails, but we'll take a look through the bracket. We'll get a match up for you guys as soon as possible. A lot more great games coming here for you guys from the WCS Europe Challenger League qualifier. This is such a huge bracket. So many good players and so many favorites. Personally, I don't know where Fuser is on the bracket, but I'd love to see him play. But like I said, we'll have to see. You have any other personal favorites in this bracket, Larian?
Oh yes, Harstem is my personal favorite in this bracket, I have to say. He's a Protoss player for Fnatic, and I've met him a few times in real life. He's a really funny guy, and yeah, I've got a bit of a bromance going on with him. He's definitely my man crush.